So we've got the resident electoral commissioner in Rivers State to just find out how preparations are turning out in his state. Good morning, Mr. Fan. Thank you for joining us today on the program. So could you tell us then, I know that there were some complaints about collection of permanent voter cards in Rivers. How is your preparations going on at the moment?
Thank you, Chamberlain. Everything is going on fine. The collections are going on, of the permanent voters cards are going on. Yesterday, as it happened across the country, we devolved to the ward levels for the to have the cards ready for people to pick up. And the reports I've got from my field officers, electoral officers, is that that went on well yesterday. I should later today know how many more cards were collected yesterday, but all the days of the collection has been going on fine. And when we devolve, as we devolved yesterday to the wards, this will continue throughout the weekend until 21st, and then we'll go back to the local government area offices for people to collect the cards.
But in terms of, because I mean, we had some people who had called in saying they had challenges picking up the permanent voter cards, so when they get there, they have all sorts of impediments to picking them up. Are you, what kind of awareness are you putting out there for people to know where they can go ahead and pick their PVCs?
Oh yes, we've told people that they should go to the ward collation centers, and the people at the local government areas are also helping with the sensitization of the people in their respective local government areas as to where to pick those cards. I think sometimes people were mistaken as to where to pick up the cards. People thought it is in the polling units, and we've told them no, it's not in the polling units. And sometimes people go to the wrong location thinking that that is where they will pick up their cards. But as many of these feedback that we get, we try to address them. Sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yesterday, I was on 2 different radio stations to talk about this, and we got a handful of calls, and I responded to them. Some people also reached out to me via Twitter, and I was able to address some of their concerns.
Okay, so at the moment now, could you tell us what's the collection rates? How many PVCs have been picked up? How many are uncollected? And what's the target to get them picked up?
Okay, so as of 15th of January, that's 2 days ago, I'm yet to get the figures for end of yesterday, but for 2 days ago, in Rivers State, a total of 2,555,832 cards have been collected. We still have a difference of about 500,000. We believe that significant number of these would be collected before the elections. We also realize that a lot of people wait till the very last few days to pick up these cards. But we have stressed that these cards, the last day for collection would be on the 8th of February. So we are encouraging people to use this opportunity to come and collect them before that time. We've had the consultation meetings with traditional rulers. We had that on Monday. And then on Tuesday, we had a similar meeting with leaders of the 2 main religious faiths here. And we also talked to them about this, and they are able to pass the message back to their locations. One of the things we've done is that on a daily basis, we publish and share in the media and social media the collection figures with the breakdown that shows local government by local government. So when we had the consultative meeting with the traditional rulers, they had the copies of this, and they were excited about it because they could tell what the collection is like in their respective local government areas, and they promised to pass on the message to people in their locations to take advantage of this period to pick up their cards.
How concerned are you when you hear comments about PVCs being bought? Have you recorded any of such incidents?
Well, we hear that PVCs are bought, but I don't know why people will sell their PVCs. As many of incidents that we know, we inform the security agencies, and they know what to do. What I tell people is that if somebody is has access to some other person's permanent voter's card, it's still going to be difficult to use that on election day, because the accreditation would show that whether it's your card or not. And people also stand the chance of being arrested if they try to use some other person's details to vote.
What about voter education? Let's talk about that a little bit more. What efforts have you been able to put in place in River State since you're the rec to ensure that people get the information that they need to know and how they should conduct themselves? What will happen on election day?
Well, we have various outlets that we pass on our information. We are talking about the regular media, the radio and television. We are there regularly talking about this. And we also have partnership with the National Orientation Agency here in the state, where at the outreaches in the communities, they also pass on this information. Now, for each local government office of INEC, we have designated voter education officers there who also meet with the people in the localities to tell them, go to markets, community association meetings and all those places to inform people about issues of voter education. At the state office level, we have a partnership with some radio stations where regularly we have people go there and talk about issues of voter education. And right now we have radio programs on, and we also have radio and television jingles. Apart from that, I also take advantage of the social media because I know that a large majority of our voters are young people who are active on social media. And so I also use the space. We have a Facebook page, and I also use my personal Facebook page and the Twitter handle to pass on this information. I seem to get a lot of feedback from this platform, and we also respond timeously.
Hand is the angle of using social media and all of that. On the other hand, are those who don't even, who are not social media savvy, so to speak. How far-reaching would you see this, your voter education efforts so far, considering that there's another public entirely that is totally unaware of this whole social media thing? That's on the one hand. On the other hand is, of course, you saw the report we showed earlier about voter apathy, that people are not just interested anymore. They're tired of all kinds of things. They believe that their votes don't count. In what way is your voter education, are your voter education activities targeted to ensure that at least people get the right information and they are moved to actually go vote?
Oh yes, apart from this, I only mentioned the social media as an add-on. We use the traditional media available, and in the communities, like I said, in each of the local government areas, we have the the voter education staff in the local governments, and then we also have people who go to the wards regularly. The available spaces, it will depend on communities. In some communities, we may have to use town criers, and we do that in informing people about this. And we also go to places of worship to talk to the people about this. So every available medium, we're using that. Now, talking about voter apathy, it's not, maybe I should also stress that when we talk about voter education, it is not only INEC that is responsible for voter education. And as a matter of fact, the political parties ought to play a more significant role in this because they are the immediate beneficiaries of the turnout of people to vote. When people say also that they believe their votes do not count, I counter that by saying that if the votes did not count, we won't find situations where politicians, a lot of them, are now going after voters and trying to pay them money to vote for them, because they now know that with the processes we have in place, the votes count now than ever before. That is why we expect that people should be more interested in participating. But I think also it's important to stress that the other thing that will also ginger people to participate in the electoral process would also be the candidates that have emerged and what they are telling people to get them to be interested and to vote for them. So I think to a large extent how politicians conduct themselves before the election and when they are elected also has a weight, an influence as to how much interest people have in the electoral process.